friends, welcome to the next episode of Apt Guide. In this episode, we are going to solve some other types of problems on average. So let us go straight away to our questions. 49th question is, if the arithmetic mean of 75 numbers is calculated, it is 45. If each number is increased by 5, then find mean of new numbers. So in this question, they have given the average or the arithmetic mean of 75 numbers as 45. Okay, then they are telling that if each number of those 75 numbers is increased by 5, then we need to find out the mean of new numbers. Okay, so whenever this type of question comes, you can directly write the new average is equal to old average plus increase in the number. Here the increase in the number is 5. Okay, so whenever this type of question comes, directly we can find out the new average as old average plus 5. Here old average is 45 and the increase in the number is 5. Okay, so the new average will be equal to 50. So this is the answer. Okay, so whenever this type of question comes, directly we can add the increase in the number to the old average to get the new average. Okay, now let us see how this is happening. Okay, we know that average is equal to sum of observations by number of observations. Okay, so the average here will be equal to sum of these 75 numbers divided by 75. Okay, then they are telling that each number of these 75 numbers are increasing by 5. Then what will be the new sum? New sum will be equal to old sum plus 5 into 75, because each 75 numbers are increasing by 5. Then the sum will be equal to old sum plus 5 into 75. Okay, then what will be the new average? New average will be equal to this new sum divided by 75. Okay, so we can write this as S by 75 plus 5 into 75 divided by 75. We can split this into this form. Okay, so this 75 and 75 gets cancelled. So this is equal to S by 75 is the old average. Okay, so the new average will be equal to old average plus 5. Okay, so this old average is 45. So the new average will be equal to 45 plus 5, that is 50. Okay, so instead of writing all these steps, whenever this type of question comes, you can directly add the increase in the number to the old average to get the new average. Okay. The next question is, average of some numbers is 12. If 2 is subtracted from each number, then what is the average of new numbers? So in this question, they have given the average of some numbers as 12. Okay. Then they are telling that 2 is subtracted from each number. Then we need to find out the average of new numbers. Okay. So whenever this type of question comes, directly we can write the new average is equal to old average minus the value which is subtracted from each number. Okay, the value which is subtracted from each number, here it is 2. Okay, so the new average will be equal to old average is 12 minus 2, that is equal to 10. Okay, so this is the answer. The next question is, average of 10 numbers is 20. If each number is multiplied by 12, then what is the average of new numbers? So in this question, they have given the average of 10 numbers as 20. Then they are telling that if each number of these 10 numbers is multiplied by 12, then what is the average of new numbers? Okay, so what will be the old average? Old average will be equal to sum of those 10 numbers divided by 10. Okay, now if each number of these 10 numbers is multiplied by 12, then what will be the new sum? New sum will be equal to old sum into 12. Okay, this is because if there are 3 numbers A, B and C, then their sum will be A plus B plus C. Now if each of these 3 numbers is multiplied by 12, then what will be the new sum? New sum will be A into 12 plus B into 12 plus C into 12. Okay, so we can write this as 12 into A plus B plus C. We can take 12 common. Okay, So the new sum will be equal to 12 into old sum. Okay. So similarly, if each of the 10 numbers is multiplied by 12, then the new sum will be equal to old sum into 12. Okay. Then what will be the new average? New average will be equal to new sum divided by number of observations, that is 10. Okay. So this S by 10 is the old average. Okay. So new average will be equal to old average into 12. Okay. So instead of writing all these steps, directly you can find out the new average as old average into the number which is multiplied to each of these numbers. Okay. So new average will be equal to old average is given as 20 into 12, that is equal to 240. So this is the answer. The next question is, average age of a husband and wife was 23 years at the time of their marriage. After 5 years, they have a 1-year-old child. What is the average age of the family now? So in this question, they are telling that the average age of a husband and wife at the time of their marriage was 23 years. Okay. Then after 5 years, they have a 1-year-old child. Then we need to find out the average age of the family at present. Okay. So the average age of husband and wife at the time of their marriage is given as 23. So we need to know what is the average age of this husband and wife at present, or when they are having a child of 1 year old. Okay. So 5 years before their average was 23. Then what will be their average after 5 years? This 5 gets added to the age of husband as well as wife. Okay. So what will be the new average? New average will be equal to old average plus increase in the number of years. Okay. So the average age of husband and wife at present will be 23 plus 5, that is 28. Okay. So the age of child at present is 1 year. Okay. So we need to find out the average age of husband, wife and child at present. Okay. So this question we are doing by the shortcut method, which we have done in the first part of the topic average. Okay. That is the 38th episode of Apt Guide. Okay. Those who are having any doubt regarding this method, I would suggest you to watch the 38th episode of Apt Guide. I have given the link of the 38th episode in the description box of this episode. Okay. So here the number of members is 2. Here the number of member is 1 and the total number of members will be 3. Okay. So this is the first step. Now the next step is to write down the averages of this number of members. Okay. So the average age of 2 members is 28. Then the age of this child at present is 1. And we need to find out the average age of all the 3 members. Okay. So above this 3 we need to write down x. This x is not the average. This x is the increase in the average. Okay. Now the next step is we need to take either this 28 or this 1 as a reference average. Okay. So I have already told that it is better to take the smallest average as the reference average. So I am taking this 1 as the reference average. Okay. So our reference average is now 1. Now the next step is multiply this 2 by the difference between its average and reference average. Okay. So multiply this 2 by 28 minus 1. Okay. So whichever part we are taking as a reference part, that part will always become 0. Okay. So plus 0 is equal to multiply this 3 by this x. Okay. Now on solving this, we will get the increase in the average first. Okay. On solving this, we will get the x value first. Okay. So that is 2 into 27 is equal to 3x. So from this x value will be equal to 18. So this is the increase in the average. Okay. Then what will be the average? The average age of husband, wife and child at present will be equal to this increase in average plus reference average. Okay. So the increase in average is 18 and the reference average is 1. So okay. So the average age of husband, wife and child at present will be 19 years. So this is the answer. The next question is, average age of husband, wife and their child 3 years ago was 27 years and that of wife and child 5 years ago was 20 years. What is the present age of husband? So in this question, we need to find out the present age of husband, and they have given the average age of husband, wife and child 3 years ago. Okay, and they have also given the average age of wife and child 5 years ago. So first we need to find out the average age of husband, wife and child at present. Also the average age of wife and child at present. Okay, so if the average age of husband, wife and child 3 years ago was 27, then what will be their average age at present? At present their average age will be 27 plus 3. New average will be equal to old average plus increase in the number of years. So that is 27 plus 3, that is 30. Okay. If the average age of wife and child 5 years ago was 20 years, then what will be their average age at present? At present their average age will be 20 plus 5, that is 25. Okay. So we need to find out the present age of husband. Okay. So this question also we are doing by the shortcut method, which we have done in the previous question. Okay. So this H plus W plus C is equal to W plus C plus H. Okay. So here the number of members is 3, that is equal to, here the number of members is 2 plus here the number of members is 1. The next step is to write down their respective average ages. Okay. So above this 3 we need to write down 30. Above this 2 we need to write down 25. So here we need to write down X. Okay. This X is not the average. It is the increase in the average. Okay. Or this X is not the age of husband. It is the increase in the age of the husband. Okay. Now first we need to find out the value of X. So for that we need to take either this 30 or this 25 as a reference average. So I am taking the smallest average as the reference average. Okay. Now multiply this 3 by the difference between its average and reference average. Okay. That is equal to, whichever part we are taking as the reference part, that part will become 0 plus 1 into X, that is X. Okay. Now on solving this we will get the X value as 15. Okay. So this is the increase in the age of husband. Then what will be the husband's age? Husband's age will be equal to increase in the age plus reference average, that is 25. That will be equal to 40 years. Okay. So the age of husband is, at present his age is 40 years. The next question is, 10 years ago the average age of a family of 4 members was 24 years. 2 children having been born with age difference of 2 years. The present average age of the family is same. What is the present age of the youngest child? So in this question they have given the average age of a family of 4 members 10 years ago as 24 years. Okay. Then they are telling that 2 children are born with an age difference of 2 years. Then the present average age of the family is same as before. Okay. So we need to find out the present age of the youngest child. Since we need to find out the present age of the youngest child, we need to know the present average age of the family of 4 members. Okay. If the average age of the family 10 years ago was 24, what will be the present average age? Present average age of the 4 members will be equal to 24 plus 10, that is 34. Okay. Plus 2 children are born, then the total number of members now it will be 6. Okay. So the present average age of the total members is same, which means it is 24. Okay. So we need to find out the present age of the youngest child. So before finding the present age of the youngest child, we need to know the average age of the 2 children. Okay. So above this 2 let us write X. This X is not the average age of these 2 children. This X is the increase or decrease in the average. Okay. So let us first find out the value of X. So for that we need to take either this 34 or this 24 as a reference average. Okay. So let us take the smallest value as the reference average. Okay. So now the next step is multiply this 4 by the difference between its average and reference average, that is 34 minus 24, that is 10. Okay, plus 2 into x, that is equal to, this is reference part, so this part will become 0. Now on solving this, you will get the x value as minus 20. This minus sign refers to the decrease in average. Okay, now the decrease in average is 20. Then what will be the average of these two children? Average of two children will be equal to this reference average minus this 20. Okay, that is 24 minus 20. That will be equal to 4 years. Okay, so the average age of two children is 4 years. If the average is 4 years, what will be the sum of their ages? Sum of their ages will be equal to 4 into 2. Okay, sum is equal to average into number of observations. Okay, so 4 into 2, that is 8 years. Okay, now they have given that the age difference between the two children is 2 years, which means if the youngest child's age is x, then the next one's age will be x plus 2. Okay, then what will be the sum of their ages? That will be 2x plus 2. Okay, so we can equate this sum to this 8 years. Okay, so 2x plus 2 is equal to 8. So on solving this, we will get the x value as 3 years. Okay, so this x is the age of the youngest child. So the present age of youngest child is 3 years. So this is the answer. The next question is, after replacing an old member by a new member, it was found that the average age of 5 members of a club is the same as it was 3 years ago. What is the difference between the ages of old and new member? So in this question, they are telling that after replacing an old member by a new member, the average age of 5 members is equal to the average age 3 years ago. Okay, so we need to find out the difference between the ages of old and new member. Okay, so the problems based on replacement of the members is already discussed in the 40th episode of App Guide. I have given the link of 40th episode in the description box. Those who want to refer to the questions can go through the link given in the description box. Okay, so here they are telling that after replacement of the members, the average is equal to the average that is 3 years ago. Okay, if at present the average is x, then what will be the average 3 years ago? 3 years ago average will be x minus 3. Okay, so this average is the average after replacement. Okay, so initially the average was x. After replacement of one of the members, the average has become x minus 3, which means the average has decreased by 3. Okay, so the decrease in the average age is 3. Okay, so we need to find out the difference between the ages of old and new member. The difference between the ages of old and new member will be equal to the decrease in the sum of the ages of these 5 members. Okay, the difference between the ages of old and new member will be equal to the decrease in the sum of the ages of these 5 members. Okay, so if decrease in average is 3, what will be the decrease in sum of ages? Sum is equal to average into number of observation. Okay, so decrease in sum of their ages will be equal to average into number of members, that is 5. Okay, so decrease in the sum of their ages will be 15 years. Okay, so the difference between the ages of old and new member will be equal to 15 years. Okay, so this is the answer. So here finishes this part of the topic average. I'll be back with some other important problems in the next part. Do watch it. If you felt this video helpful, please like it and subscribe it. Also press the bell button so that you get the notification when I'm uploading new videos. Thank you for watching the video. Bye.